Hello, I'm Julian Brooks. This is a short video to tell you about Twinkl Go. So in this I'll show you, spend about 5-10 minutes talking about what Go is and what you can get in there. And then the second half I'll be talking briefly about personal child logins and how to share these resources with your children. So how to find Go. Best way is you log into Twinkl and then type Go. Or you can go onto Google, just type in Twinkl Go and you'll end up at this page. So a quick explanation of this page. Here's where all the resources are and they're split into age groups. Ignore this bit for the moment, the child login, because we'll be covering that a little bit later. And now if I scroll down you can see these carousels here. These have got the most popular resources at the moment. We change those regularly, and the ones featured this week that we think you might be interested in. Underneath we've got some new resources, and down below that we've got some blog posts. So if you prefer reading about it than listening to me, then you just click that and it goes into this in a lot more detail. Similarly with sharing as well, this blog goes into it in a lot more detail, just a step-by-step guide of how to share Twinkl Go resources. And then below with other things as well. I wouldn't really worry about that for the moment. So let's have a look at some age groups. We'll look at 5 to 7, and within there we've got it's split according to subject. So if I want to look at some English resources, it filters them out there, so I can see I've got a phonics game there, I've got a reading activity there, lots and lots of different things. So let's just have a look at a few. So we've got a phonics bingo matching activity here. So I'm just choosing ones at random. Once you get onto it, you can read about it, see what people thought about it, and it tells you some more about the resource. So let's actually play it. Click launch and it plays on any internet enabled device. So we've tested it out on iPads, we've tested it out on major phones, and it worked well. So I'll turn the sound up, it's getting on my nerves. I'll maximise that. So you just click play, and that's the tail. So we find tail, click that on the bingo. So that's chosen, and next. Click next. And that's a cow, so I'll deliberately get that wrong, but it's not taking it. So I'll find cow, there's cow, and because it's the right answer, it is taking it, and click next. So loads of games like that. Got quite a lot of bingo games. Let's go back again. And go back further into the main site. Let's get some maths resources. So these are all ordered according to what's popular at the moment. And we've got some big games and some small games. So I happen to know that that's quite a big game, this is quite a big game, and this one as well. So let's play Arithmagic. And launch. So what this is quite a big arithmetic game at different levels. So let's go. It tells you what to do. I'm just going to turn the sound down again. Play. I'll make it bigger so we can see it. So I'll choose a character. I'm going to be Lyra Steelwind. Oh, she's not Lyra Steelwind. Oh, she is Lyra Steelwind, that's it. It tells you what she's good at, and I'm going to play as her. And I choose the area that I want to work on. So let's be on the M6 Troll Road. That tells me a bit more about it. And then once I'm there, I can choose which operation I want to do. So let's do multiplication, and choose which times table I want to do. So let's do the 3, 4 and 8 times table. So something 8 times 4 is something, so it's 32. Click enter, and I can use a keyboard to do that. 64, and it just keeps going as long as that goes down. 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 7, never very good at these. 42, guess. Okay, so that has made a spell of value 11, and that's for that. Okay, and I can go again with another one, or I can choose a different operation. I'm not going to go through the whole of that. It's just a quick overview of what Twinkl Go is. So let's go back again, find some more stuff. So we've got loads of games. The other thing we've got is animations as well. So I'll try and find you an animation. I happen to know that let's search. So Goldilocks. I know there's a lovely Goldilocks and Three Bears animation. So I'm searching for this on the main site. Now you'll see there's Goldilocks activities come up, but we've not got the one I want. So I'm going to show you how to filter. So to filter, you do two things. You click interactive and online games, and let's just unfilter that and unfilter that, and Twinkl. Oh, it's come up. I'm going to click Twinkl Go as well. So that's the animation I wanted. So I click that, and I can launch and play that. So if I'm in the classroom or my children are with me at home, I can get them using my account.
And the Three Bears.
Easy.
Once upon a time, there was a girl called Goldilocks. She lived in the forest with her woodcutter father, and she loved nothing more than spending her days wandering through the trees, listening to the birds, and catching bugs.
Okay, I'm relaxed enough now, so let's have a look at other things. But that's basically the idea. Loads and loads of games, loads and loads of animations, and we've got audio as well. I think the best thing to do if you're interested in Twinkl Go is just go to Go, have a play around, and see what you like. If you want to be directed to the most popular ones, then I will go to the carousels and see what people are looking at the moment. So most of these have been popular for a long time, or you can have a look at the newer ones. We've got one on fine motor skills, for instance. So the collection goes from EYFS right through to Key Stage 2. We also have some Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4 resources as well, but mainly it's to do with primary. Okay, so we're going to talk about sharing now. There's a few ways you can share. You can share by copying the URL and sending it to the child, which, while Twinkl Go is free, that's fine because they'll be able to access that. So I've just copied that URL and I can paste it in an email. I could paste it on my school website, or I could put that in Google Classroom, or wherever you share, and that's fine. But if you're going to share regularly, then maybe you need a more sophisticated solution than that. So within Twinkl, we've got a few ways of sharing. So I'm going to talk about a couple of them. We've got the planner, which you might have seen before, which I'm going to show you later. And we've got personal child logins and PIN codes. And I'll talk about the difference between those two in a second. So let's have a look at one I've already made. So I'm using personal child logins, which is the way that I'd recommend you do your sharing. So if I'm a child, let's go back to the Go page. When they come on, they enter three things. So they enter a PIN code, a username, and a password. If you're not using personal child logins, they just enter a PIN. So again, I'll talk about the difference later. Because I'm already logged in here, though, I can't be logged in on on the same browser as two separate users. So because of that, I'm going to use an incognito window. Now, as a child, I don't need to do that because I'm not going to be logged in. So you go to twinkl.co.uk/go, or you can go to /share. So I'm on Go, and then I type in the PIN code that I've been given. So it's JB0654. I'll show you how to find PIN codes later. Click login, and because that's personal child login, I need a username. So my username is Ty34, and my password is a password that I've chosen, and I finish signing in. So now when I log in, I see that. I've got 3 lessons with loads of resources in there. So I've got some Go resources here, so I can click launch, and so as a child I can see that. So even when Twinkl Go goes back onto a paid subscription, you can share these resources with your children for free effectively. So in a way, with sharing, they're piggybacking on your subscription. Let's go back. Now, the great thing about this is that when you're sharing Twinkl Go resources with personal child logins, the pin code, the planner, you can also share non-Go resources as well to download. So if I click download there, then I as a child could download that resource, see it on screen, print it out if I wanted to. So it's a great way of sharing not just Twinkl resources, but sharing any resource. Okay, let's go back. In fact, I'll come out of there completely. Right, so how do you do that? How do you share? Well, the best way is through the planner. So let's go to this collection now. And I'm going to drag this resource here onto the planner. So I've dropped it in. I'll give it a lesson demo. So the lesson is called demo, and I'll bung in that resource as well. I'm just dragging them. And if I've got any main site resources I could do, so let's look at the main site for Roald Dahl stuff. And yeah, I've got a reading comprehension activity, so I'm going to drag that over. So rather than just adding games and animations, you can just drag anything over. Let's have a PowerPoint as well. Okay, so we've got 5 resources in that lesson. Now, in order to share them, again, there's 2 ways of sharing: pin codes and personal child logins. So I'm set up for personal child logins. I click that, and I'll have set up some groups. Again, I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm going to share them with group 7, and I'm going to share them with a group called Edna. And I click update. So immediately, as soon as I've done that, that is shared with those groups and the children within those groups. So let's just check that that's taken. All those resources are in that lesson. Click manage lesson. Okay, so it looks like for this one those haven't taken, but there's another way of doing it. I kind of did that deliberately. You click the pencil, and here you've got the groups again. So it's exactly the same thing. We'll do group 7 and Edna. Now you won't see this, but I'm pressing Control as I click that, and I've got both groups saved. If I want to put a description in, I can put a description, and I might want to give instructions to the children. Again, I can give a subject or a key stage, so I'll choose key stage 2. You don't have to do that, but what you do have to do is it needs to have a name, and it needs to be shared with groups if you're using personal child logins. So I'll click Save Lesson. So now that lesson has been shared with Edna. Okay, so let's have a look at how you manage that. So go to Pupil Management, and here are the names of some children that I've already set up. If I want to add new children, I can do via this, or I can do it via adding multiple pupils via a spreadsheet. And then rather than sharing it with individual pupils, which from an admin point of view will be difficult, I can create groups by clicking New Group there. So I've already created lots of groups here, and if I want to add Edna to the All group, I can click that. So if I look in All, then I can see that there's all those children there, and Edna as well. Right, okay. So I said I was going to talk about different types of sharing. So we've got 2 different types: pin code and personal child logins. On the face of it, pin codes look easier because you've just got a pin code to remember. But the issue is that for every lesson, let's go back to lessons overview. If you're using a pin code, for every lesson, what you've got to do is set it up in the first place, but then you've got to click share and go across like that and save the changes. So you've got to do that every time. If you're using personal child logins, effectively you've got a master pin code. So let's have a look at the master pin login that I've got. So for this lesson, and it could be any lesson, I've created a master pin. So the children, it makes sense, the children are going to use that every time. So every child in my class is going to use that pin code, and then when they've got through that bit, they use their username and they use their password. And it's much quicker, much easier. Now the other thing is the groups. So with personal child logins, you're able to share it with particular groups. So say you've got red group, green group, yellow group, and you want to share with just red, you can do that via this. But if you're using personal child logins, what you'd have to do is you'd have to give a pin to red code for, say, their lesson on Monday, and pin code to them again for the lesson on Tuesday, a different pin to yellow group, etc. So if you're using sharing regularly, then really this is one of the reasons why personal child logins is the better way of doing it. Another two things is that with pins, they've got expiry dates of 17 days, so after that your lesson's gone and you need to reset a new pin, and you're only allowed 10 lessons at any one time with pins. With personal child logins, there's no restrictions at all. Okay, I think that's about everything. Oh, if you want to download your list of names, then you just click that and click download, and then you can download that as a spreadsheet, so you get all the usernames, all the passwords, and you can also download it as labels as well. So you kind of get sticky labels that you can just pop in your books. One thing to bear in mind though is for passwords, the username I would keep the same every time, but if you want to regenerate them, you can do. For passwords, we give you a single-use password. So when the child logs on, first of all, they use that single-use password, and then after that, they change it to a password they can remember. So they really need to be writing it down, or you need to tell them, right, you need to write in this password. If they forget that, then you can give them another single-use password and just click regenerate, and they'll be able to get in and they reset their password like that. So we do that really because of data protection. Okay, if you've got any questions, then just pop those in the chat, and we'll answer those questions as soon as we can. Thanks. Bye.